Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? How you boys doing? It's your boy Devo, some motivational, back with another day trading spy recap. Real quick, I want to say thank you for everybody sticking with me through the journey, through the ups, downs, the uglies, the pretties, everything. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate every single one of y'all. Please like, comment, and subscribe on these daily live streams, on these daily videos. I hope y'all really enjoy them. You know what I'm saying? Because I enjoy going live with you guys, and honestly, I enjoy what I'm saying, sharing the whole journey with you guys. You know what I'm saying? And so let's go ahead and get into it, okay? And so to start the day, so let me tell you first. So another losing trade, minus 93 bucks. Getting frustrated, right? Getting frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Because sticking to strategy, sticking to discipline. So getting frustrated about it, but ultimately, I mean, you can't do nothing with it, right? Because ultimately, I'm gonna show y'all where I got in at, why I got in, and then what price ended up actually doing, going the exact effing way that I knew price wanted to go and sweep. So I'm gonna go over it, but you know what I'm saying, we're not gonna hang our head too low. You know what I'm saying, because we just gotta be grateful, and we're blessed to be in the position we're in, right? And that goes for in anything that you're doing, right? You know what I'm saying, you got to be extremely grateful to wake up. You know what I'm saying, and just you're blessed to be in the position you're in, no matter if work is stressful, or no matter if you're struggling paying bills, and or whatever. You know what I'm saying, just try to look at the positive, and try to look at the positive, and realize how grateful you are. You know what I'm saying, that God, you know what I'm saying, woke us up every day. You know what I'm saying. And so frustrated at it, but what can we do but learn and move on? And you know what I'm saying, just try to look at the bright side about it, right? So the first trade we took, minus 93 bucks, which isn't too bad, but still, you know what I'm saying, now I'm down 120 bucks on the week, because we know I was minus 30. Just lost 93 bucks, so minus 120 bucks now. And so frustrating, but you know what I'm saying, we might have another trade, but I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna trade again, because as you see, we just have this a whole bunch of bull crap. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of ranging, not want to do nothing. But now you see prices just just going up, and there ain't even no volumes. Well, there's a little bit of volume, but it's just, I wouldn't be surprised if that gets knocked down, honestly. And I hope it honestly gets knocked down, because I'm so frustrated, right? And so okay, so let's get over the trade recap. So what did we do to start the day? So basically, what we did, we just kind of continued. Let me, where are we? We kind of just basically continued where we started off yesterday, right? This price was ended off yesterday. We ended up starting right here. Drop down. What did we do? We touched this gap. We touched this gap right before it ended up giving this uptrend, right? Wasn't worried about that, because that was just like to start the day. And we know I like to trade between like the 9:15 to 10:30 areas. You know what I'm saying? Because that like kind of gets rid of all the manipulation, and you know what I'm saying, just so you can kind of get an overall view on what the market's trying to do, and kind of map out what you want it to do, and react off of what that, you know what I'm saying, what's that stuff, like react off of it, get the manipulation out the way and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so waiting on this uptrend, what did I want price to do? I wanted price to sweep these highs, and I did honestly want price to try to sweep this range, this area of resistance right here, because as we see this area, boom, 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 boom. So like obviously it's a heavy resistance where the sellers just are not breaking through, right? And so I wanted a little sweep of that before a breakdown, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't end up getting that. What did we get? We swept these highs, right? Broke down a little bit, giving us our pullback before coming back up and sweeping these highs again. And then what would happen? We ended up getting this heavy sell-off, right? This heavy breakdown right here with heavy volume. You see this big old volume candle, right? Remember, we want what is the three things to go to a trend is price, volume, and momentum. So you want to see price, you want to see it take out your higher high or higher low, you want to see the volume in the trend that you're following, and then you want to see how fast it's actually moving. This was extremely fast. Why? This was literally from 57, broke down all the way down here at 4 o'clock. So it's 3 minutes of just flying down. It literally just fell down. And why did I take this trade? Well, I mean, I felt like it was an awesome trade, honestly. Because why? We created these highs, right? Stopping these highs out, having our pullback before sweeping these area again. Not quite breaking the high. Before, what did we do? We broke down, giving a change of character, right? Giving a change of character. And let me just delete this. When we gave this change of character right here, I was like, oh yeah. Because I waited on that. I wanted these highs to get swept. I wanted the range to get swept. It didn't get swept. And it's showing that this resistance is still heavy by breaking it down with heavy volume, right? Heavy volume. It's already about 9 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? Fresh into 9 something. Broke down. And what did we do? We gave this beautiful, beautiful wick. This is beautiful. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is everything you want to see in your retracement pullback, you know what I'm saying? You want to see this beautiful wick breakdown, you know what I'm saying? And so we were coming up with a candle, and man, I was looking at this like smiling, you know what I'm saying? Because look, this candle right here, it was green at first, but it's not showing no type of volume, right? It was green at first. It was just itching up, itching up, itching up, itching up. And then when it started breaking down, I was like, oh yeah. I hopped in about like the middle right here. Hopped in for a 523 put. A 523 put for about 460. Why did I hop in for a 523 put? Because I trusted price, right? I trusted what I wanted price to do. I wanted price to sweep these lows. As you can see, I have this line right here. I wanted to sweep these lows. I know we have these lows right here, but that's at the bottom of that range. I wasn't going to be too greedy. I just wanted the sweep of lows, which we see price did, but we will get further into that, right? I wanted price to sweep these lows. What did we do? We gave this change of characters. Beautiful wick. I was in right here. I got in about halfway through this wick. So it's breaking down my favor. We broke down. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So we can see that volume too. Broke down. We were breaking down. And I seen this gap right here, right? This is why I have this marked right here. Well, I didn't have it marked at first, but I seen it with my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I just marked it out for you guys like right before I hopped on, right? So I seen this gap right here. I expected a reaction, but off of this heavy seller, change of character as well, heavy seller volume, bears looked like they were taking over. I expected a reaction, which we did, right? We had this good reaction, which we see these buyers are nowhere near these sellers, nowhere near this seller candle. And then even this seller candle is still higher than these buyers, right? And so when we got this reaction, I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about it. We're going to have a little reaction off that gap because it's where buyers are at. So when we got this reaction, you know, my stop loss has to be at the top of this wick, right? Because that was our pullback, right? So on top of that wick, well, it's actually a little retracement. Remember, the 3 candles are our pullback, but, you know, this would have been like the very start of the move, right? So, man, again, it still feels like a perfect entry to me. I'm going to go over it and keep going over it, like, later on in the day, just kind of seeing where I could get better. And then, as you know, I'm going to have a live stream later on. So we're going to be going over it, seeing where I could have a better entry, what I could have done. And we're going to have the overall view of the whole market when it's closed. And then we're going to have, you know, obviously there'll probably be more news coming out later. So we'll go over all that in the live later. Because remember, I just love going live with you guys and just going over it, right? Excuse me. So what did we do? I expected this little reaction. We got the reaction. We were breaking up because remember, before it's a doji, it's a solid candle in real time. You know what I'm saying? This is hindsight, but during the time we have the actual candle breaking up, and I was like, okay. I mean, my stop loss is up here, right? Let me delete this candle. I mean that line. My stop loss is on top of this wick, right, where I got in at. And it started to give this doji. I was like, oh yeah, roll over for me, baby. Roll over for me, baby, because we actually broke down a little bit first, and then we get this doji. So I was like, oh yeah, roll over for me, baby. Next candle, we broke down. We were breaking down, you know what I'm saying? Next candle, we were breaking down. But then what do we see? It just gave the wick. It started pushing up a little bit more. Still wasn't worried about it because my stop loss still up here before ultimately getting a $3 candle. 528 from 525 to 528. $3 candle. Crushing dreams, crushing stop losses, crushing everything. Freaking stopping me out and leaving me extremely frustrated. Honestly, leaving me extremely frustrated. I was pretty frustrated off that move. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like it was a really good entry, which I felt like I've had some really good entries this week. You know what I'm saying? Just like I felt like on my two losses I've had this week, this one and then my other one, they were like extremely good, like extremely good setups. Like I had my change of character on my last one, I had my pullback, price was going my way, and they ended up stopping me out. And honestly, don't remember. Yeah, it started ranging that day, and that was the day that at the about 12 o'clock we had the Trump pause news, and it just shot up $50. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that was a frustrating day to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? This is a frustrating day to be a part of too, because it ended up stopping me out, right? Breaking up, stopping me out, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Was frustrated, took the $93 loss. You know what I'm saying? Which $93 isn't much. You know what I'm saying? It's that's not bad because I was up already about $100 from this drop. My stop loss was all right. So look, actually, let's pull up our short position to see my risk to reward. Right, so I got it right here. My take profits were at these lows. My stop loss was up here at this wick, and I got in at the middle of this wick, right? So as you can see, if I'm risking $750, what is going on, bro? You just deleted that. Oh my god, what is going on? Yeah, what is going on, man? All right, so as we can see, um, for if I had 750 in, my stop, um, what, 50 to $2, but ultimately my gain would have been 3,000, right? So that's about a what? What is that? 1 to 4, 1 to 4 risk to reward, right? Yeah, that's awesome. If you're getting 1 to 4 risk to rewards, you know what I'm saying, you're winning. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just beautiful, man. That really should have worked. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm a little frustrated, but I'm not gonna hang my head too low because why? We're grateful, and we're still just learning. You know what I'm saying? We're getting to it. All right. And so what did it do? It came up, stopped me out, break and break down using this because this is a heavy area of resistance, right? So it stopped me out, but then ultimately this resistance knocked it back down. The bulls try to buy it back up before giving this mitigation formation, right? Because what is a mitigation formation? When you have a low, a high, a low, but then you can't quite break that high, and you'll break down and reversing trend, right? So that's pretty much exactly what it did. It broke up. It couldn't create that. It couldn't create a new high. Couldn't create a new high for ultimately falling short. Then breaking back down. And what did it do? Swept these lows. And that is frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Because I had the right mind. I had the right mindset on it, on what I wanted it to do. Had a good entry. You know what I'm saying? I can't complain about the entry. Why? Why is that a good entry? Because it's awesome entry, honestly. We had our seller volume right. We had this pullback, and we see the off of this seller massive bear volume. We had this pullback that didn't even match because remember this volume candle was green. Even if it's red, it still can't even match this volume right here, right? So when it got bought up and was given the wick down, if these bears are in control, price should not break this wick, right? Because this is the pullback into this very bearish volume and candle, right? Excuse me. So if bears are in control, it should not break that, right? Well, it did break it before resistance ended up coming in, and the bears ended up, I guess, taking control over and then sweeping these lows. You know what I'm saying? And that would have been about a $500 gain. Yeah, that would have been big. That would have been big payday. You know what I'm saying? As I told you guys yesterday, I was gonna get paid today. I was gonna have a big winner for you guys, but I didn't have a big winner for you guys. And as you see, price is just doing whatever. It started ranging, and now it's just doing stupid stuff, man. Honestly, it's dumb. It's dumb, man. This is frustrating. Like, there's no volume over here. There's literally like no volume. Price is just itching up, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see price just knock it all the way down, stomping all these people out, because this is just a trend right here, right? We're just getting this trend line. Yeah. can see this trend line. It actually broke this trend line. If you want to pull that trend line a little further, yeah, see, so it broke that trend line. So if you're like a trend line trader, you could have traded that, boom, 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 boom. Then once it broke it, you could have got out. You see what I'm saying? I don't even trust that. I don't know, but so yeah, that's pretty much where I got stopped out. You know what I'm saying? I want to go over this Tesla chart because man, did I already know whoever traded Tesla had a freaking payday. Tesla literally provided the easiest setup I've ever seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? I wish I was looking at Tesla earlier today. I wish I was trading Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Literally the easiest setups I've ever seen in my freaking life. Why didn't I trade it? Well, I don't usually normally trade Tesla. I like to normally stick to the SPY because usually the SPY is going to do pretty much, I mean, usually, yeah, the SPY is pretty much going to do whatever Tesla does. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me come down to my 5 minute. I don't know what's going on, honestly. Usually Tesla is going to follow whatever, pretty much whatever Tesla does, the SPY is going to do. You know what I'm saying? They normally correlate with each other. But Tesla actually had a trend when SPY was just BSing and just ranging, right? And so, man, Tesla is beautiful today. Look at this setup. So what did we do? We actually had a rally to start the day with. We had a rally to start the day, broke back down, broke up, breaking structure, broke structure, right? When we break structure, what do? Come down to our 1 minute, and as we can see, so it came up. Oh my God, this is beautiful. It is so beautiful. What did it do? It swept the pullback because remember, this is just the actual pullback of our the day before, how we had that massive run up. All this was yesterday was this pullback, right? A pullback because you know you got to have a pullback off of that run, right? Then when we actually started trying to trend up, what did we do to start the day? We came up and we just swept these highs, right? And that happened like to start the morning, so I wouldn't even have been in that trade because I would have waited a little bit for the manipulation, sweep some type of highs, and then give me a trend of reversal. And what did it do? This is like, it's like the easiest print in the world, easiest money print in the world, man. I wish I would have been on Tesla, but again, I don't usually trade Tesla. Why? Because it's extremely volatile, but the market in general is extremely volatile right now, and so it's like kind of like basically pick whichever one you want, you know what I'm saying? And as traders, we love the volatility, right? But you love the volatility, but you want to be on the volatility where you can get in on the right side, right? But normally Tesla is a little more expensive, a little more volatile. Normally the SPY and like QQQ would have more of what is it called? A clearer, there we go, clearer trend because it's not as volatile, just flying up and down, you know what I'm saying? But as we know, right now it's just flying up and down. Everything's pretty much volatile. So, but normally I stick to the SPY because normally whatever happens in Tesla is going to happen in SPY. A lot of times they correlate. Today they did not correlate because as you see, we have this trend downwards, and SPY is what? We know SPY was ranging. I should have had two trading view things open so I can show you, but I'm not gonna open it for you guys right now. You already see what was happening. So what did we have? We had that sweep of the highs, right? Because as we can see, we started price right here. So it itched up, swept these highs. Perfect setup. Swept these highs before giving a change of character, right? Why? Because it broke our pullback right here. It broke our pullback right here, sweeping these highs, then broke this pullback, right? Giving a change of character, like easiest setup in the freaking world. Giving a change of character, and what do we want after a change of character? We want a pullback into our fair value gap or our order block, right? Well, what did it do? Let's mark this out. It pulled back into a freaking fair value gap. Like easiest, clear as day. Like that's the clearest day, like clearest price action you're ever gonna get in the world, right? is my volume indicator not on? Yeah, I have my volume indicator, but I guess I don't think it's showing the volume. Why? I'm not completely sure. I don't know why it's looking like that. It might be so much volume in the market is not showing it like clear. I don't know. But follow price, right? And so what did it do? Oh man, this printed money, and I'm already knowing it's gonna get me extremely frustrated because if you watch like Stocks with Josh or whatever, I know he trades Tesla like, you know what I'm saying. He trades Tesla like he lives on Tesla. You know what I'm saying. And Tesla absolutely printed money today, and oh my God, I know I'm gonna watch his video. And he's gonna say he printed money. It's gonna kind of frustrate me because I lost $93, which is too much, but I wanted a winner. I'm down $120 on the week. Obviously, we would like to have a winning week. It's getting closer to 12, so I think I would just call the trade at end. Let me check real quick, make sure. Okay, y'all are following me. Sorry, I had to check and make sure real quick. And so, what did it do? It gave a change of character, pulled back into my fair value gap before what? Oh my goodness, man, this makes me frustrated looking at it. For breaking structure, right? We broke structure, and then what happened? Once it broke structure and broke down all the way down here, and it started wicking and started coming back, I could have got out. And I would have absolutely printed money on that move, right? Before, what did it do after it broke structure? Well, after it breaks structure, what do we get? We get another order block and a fair value gap, right? After it breaks structure. So what did it do? It gave another fair value gap, right? And what did price do? Came up into that fair value gap, gave strong wicks, strong seller candle, giving a reaction off of this freaking fair value gap. And what did it do again, man? It broke structure again, sweeping these lows. Like, oh my goodness, that is absolutely print. That is print of money, and that is the easiest price action you could ever ask for. Like, literally, like you dream of price actions like those. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that is frustrating. So I think I'm gonna have to start paying attention to the Tesla chart while I'm looking at my SPY chart. I was looking at the QQQ while I was looking at SPY. We know those are gonna match each other, right? The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. And I think even the Dow Jones. I think they pretty much just follow each other. But man, that is frustrating. That is honestly frustrating, right? But what can we do, right? You gotta learn from it. And now look what price is doing, man. This is what I'm talking about. Usually you won't even have moves like this late in the day, but price is just doing whatever. I mean, it's not following no rules, honestly. It's doing whatever. What did it do? Actually, zoom back out. What did price do then? Basically, just accumulated a bunch of orders, and it's just running up now. And it's heavy volume, so we honestly might have some good news. We might honestly have some good news coming out, so I'm gonna check that. I might have another trade for today, but we know I will go over that later on in the day, okay? On my live, I'll go over if I have another trade, and then overall we'll be going over the markets and then the more news that comes out. So real quick, before, if I see a good trade happening, because I see we broke this, if I can see us break down and test this area of resistance. So I'm gonna break down what I want to see right now. I want to see us test this area of resistance before giving a wick, give me an engulfing, and I'm in to ultimately break this high, right? And so I'd be in for a call right there, right? So real quick, before I get out of here, I want to go over the PPI. We had PPI today, which actually came in at negative 0.4%. I can't tell if that's actually good or bad, right? It should be good, right? Because that means if the producers, which these companies, they're lowering their prices, right? Because negative, well, it fell down, right? Because that means they're lowering their prices. When they're lowering their prices, what does that mean? That means the consumers are spending less, right? So we're spending less on their goods, so they have to lower the price, right? Because the demand isn't there as much, right? So as they're lowering their prices, because our consumer demand is coming down, right? And so when they're lowering the prices and it's showing that we're not spending as much, that is good for inflation. That means inflation is coming down, and ultimately we want to see inflation come down because the closer we can get to 2% inflation is the faster we can get these rate cuts, right? And rate cuts we know are good for the market because more rate cuts, more money in our pocket, more money in our pocket, more money in the markets, right? But ultimately, you want to have a balance between the bad and the good. You don't want it to be too negative or too low of a PPI, but you don't want it too high, right? You don't want it too low because if the companies are lowering their prices, that means we're not spending at all, right? And that means the companies aren't making no money, right? And so that's why you kind of want a balance of their prices not being too inflated, but it not coming down too low. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's coming down too low, that means the economy is slowing down. That means we don't have no money. And ultimately, that is why the Fed has to cut rates, or not has to. That's a good thing, right? Cuts rates because that means we're not spending, right? And so it could be a good thing, but then it could also be a bad thing if it's too low. You get what I'm saying? Because that means they're not making money. But how we seen the market reacting, it was looking like that's exactly how they took it. How it was kind of good and bad news, and now it's looking like it wants to break up. You know what I'm saying? So we're probably taking that as good news. You know what I'm saying? We have these pause on tariffs still, but ultimately we know China raised their tariffs on us to I think 125%, and we know we have them at 145%. You know what I'm saying? So we're still in bad news territory, but we are getting some good news, right? Because we're getting closer to these rate cuts and lowering inflation, right? And so that's pretty much it for you guys. That's pretty much all I have for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we will be going live, going over these markets later on. Remember, I love every single one of y'all who are with me. Remember, trading is risky. Manage your risk. Make sure you study so you know what you're looking at and looking for. You know what I'm saying? Just as fast as you can make money, it's just as fast as you can lose money. You know what I'm saying? So don't gamble. Don't go all in on your trades. Have risk management and trust the process, right? And so that's all I'm doing. I'm trusting the process. I'm only a year and some change in, and so I'm still having bumps in the roads. I'm still learning. So y'all are seeing the losses. Y'all are going to see the wins. Y'all are going to see the uglies. Y'all are going to see the pretties. Y'all are going to see all of it, okay? A lot of these traders that are on here making, you know what I'm saying, a lot of money, right? Because obviously, like, traders make a lot of money, right? But a lot of them we see, they're 3, 4, 5 years in, you know what I'm saying? So they have all this experience under their belt, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through the experiences, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting it under my belt, you know what I'm saying? And so just stick with me, my good people. That's the difference between me and them. I want to show y'all the complete journey, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously, you know, I'm not saying they wouldn't have done what I'm doing, but ultimately, you know, they started showing after, you know what I'm saying, they became profitable and stuff. I want to show y'all the process from me turning from being unprofitable to turning profitable, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's really going to make me stand out, you know what I'm saying? That what makes me different. I want to be completely transparent with y'all. I want to show y'all exactly what I said, the goods, the bads, the uglies, the pretties, the wins, the losses, you know what I'm saying, the growing pains, the frustration, but ultimately, you know what I'm saying, whenever I'm doing my happy dance, you know what I'm saying, because these wins are coming, all right? Stay with me, my good people. I love every single one of y'all, all right? And remember, I really do love every single one of y'all who are with me through this journey, okay? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please go watch these daily live streams because I always have something to tell y'all. I always have some good news for you guys, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm losing some trades, remember, these are growing pains, you know what I'm saying? Just because I'm losing a trade, I know what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? I know I have a lot to learn and a lot of stuff to learn and to study and go over, but I know I have enough knowledge to be profitable. It's just about executing and just because I know it's just probably these little things that I really need to work on to be consistently making money, you know what I'm saying? And I know I'm right there. I study too much for these things. I go over it too much for me. I know these things, you know what I'm saying? I've watched too much videos, and I still watch these videos to this day, you know what I'm saying, going over these things, make sure I know what I'm talking about. So, you know what I'm saying? So I know I have enough knowledge to be profitable. It's just about executing, and we're going to get there, okay? I'm not down. I'm not hanging my head on it. Mind, it's $120 in a week, but ultimately the trading day is not over. I'll probably cut it at about 12 to 30, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, it's still a beautiful day. It's still a beautiful day to chase our dreams. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to hang our head. We're always going to remain high. All right, guys? And I love every single one of y'all. Please stick with me through the journey. I love every single one of y'all again. And remember, guys, stay persistent, passionate, and make sure y'all get paid, all right? Peace.